You know that moment when your kid says, "Hey, Dad, watch my cartwheel, ready?" And then he bends over, puts both hands on the ground, then kind of jumps his feet about a centimetre to the left, and then stands up like he's Simone Biles securing the 7th gold. You got no option but to go, "Good job, buddy, you're getting better every time you try that." In his mind, he is a brilliant acrobat. But things look a lot different from the outside. Now, this is how I would describe the difference between the kind of husband that I think I am and the kind of husband I actually am. I answer interview questions like, "Oh, what did I get her for Valentine's Day?" Every day's Valentine's Day. Because a part of me really wants to believe that that version of me as a husband is real, but it isn't. Not by a long shot. I still have a lot of work to do. It's better than it was, but I've got a bit of work. However, one Valentine's Day, not too long ago, I fucking nailed it. I got my wife a gift that truly lasts forever. It all started when Audrey, who's here tonight, she let the dogs out in the backyard to have a wee and a poo one afternoon. The smell, after they went outside, the smell which accompanied their return from the backyard betrayed one of the many drawbacks of cavoodle ownership. Yeah, they don't shed, but their hair is very, very easy for poop to get stuck in. Either on the way out or when they're just stupid and step in their own poo while they're trying to walk and poo at the same time. Upon inspecting their fetlocks, Audrey discovers that their oodly hair is wet and matted with poop. It's kind of odd for both of them to have done this. Well, once she cleans them up, she heads outside to sort out what must be truly carnage, and it was at this point I get the phone call. I'm at work. I'm at a break. I'm rehearsing for a gig with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. I'm hosting their Valentine's Day show the following night. I'm living the dream. I'm singing the Lionel Richie part opposite Gemma Ricks, who's being Donna Summer, and we are doing Endless Love, and it is epic. And the phone rings and Audrey says, "Our backyard is covered in raw sewage. I need help sorting this out." Now, son Wolfgang was not even 6 months old, so this level of cataclysm indeed needed more than one pair of hands. However, with 115 members of the Australian Musicians Union moistening their embouchures and resining their bows at the 4-minute and 30-second mark of our 5-minute break, I actually couldn't go anywhere. I'll be there as quick as I can. And as soon as I can, I race home, and then I clap eyes on it. Underneath our clothesline is a huge puddle of raw sewage. Now, I've never smelt raw sewage before, but let me take you there. It's the worst festival toilet you've ever been in. On the hottest day ever. Right before sundown, so it's not been pumped out for several hours. In fact, people are so loose that they will open the door and see there are already sprays of vomit and explosive cocaine poos all over the walls, surrounding what appears to be a midden of excrement, just erupting from the very blocked bowl. Yet, because they're absolutely busting and completely hammered, they will wade into about 3 centimetres of mostly piss on the floor, turn around, bend over, and add their contribution to the piece of spontaneously emerging communal artwork. It smelled like that in our backyard. Now, this amount of raw sewage pooling on our pavers was clearly a health hazard, so I got on the phone quick sticks and I called Sydney Water. Now, we live in an old part of the city, and it's highly probable that we're still running on pipes when the sewage system first showed up in 1889. I called the emergency number, but it's already after 2 p.m. on a Friday. Didn't like my chances of help arriving. But it turns out, if you use the words raw and sewage, Sydney Water will have a crack team of operatives to your house in under an hour. A highly modified ute pulls up. The hoses and instruments affixed to the chassis make it look more like a Ghostbusters mobile than a work truck. 3 hard-looking men pile out and briskly approach, all of them wearing high-vis and hard hats. This is liquid poo. Do they know something I don't know? Do I need a helmet as well? The head tech introduces himself, an older bloke called Vince. He's friendly but curt because time is a factor. "Where's the manhole?" The what? "The manhole. You've got a sewer main on your property and there's a manhole. Where is it?" No, we moved in just 2 months ago. They said nothing about a manhole. Vince has no time for my shit. From a holster on his side, he whips out an iPad in the kind of protective case I've only seen carried by actors too good-looking to be the engineers they're pretending to be on those mining ads which they run around election time. You know the ones. We're Australians, just like you. And every day, we're working hard to protect your children's future. Carl, it's Australian for freedom. He swipes the screen and produces a scanned map I've never seen. It's hand-drawn on what appears to be parchment made of papyrus leaves. Jabbing a thick finger, which is more callous than skin, into the screen. There, manhole. Sure enough, on the map, there's a small black hand-drawn square which meets a straight line running all the way down through our neighbours' backyards. It's 2 metres from your back fence. 3 men and me scan the backyard and we can't see anything. There's pavers, there's a big pot plant, there's a bit of grass, and the garden bed starts. Vince produces a yellow T-shaped piece of metal about as long as my arm and starts jabbing it into the grass. Nothing. Thunk. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The pot plant is hefted to one side. Shovels are handed around. We get to excavating. When we're finished, at my feet, right there in our backyard, is a manhole. Vince takes his T-shaped tool and inserts it into the manhole, like he's Indiana Jones putting the Staff of Ra into the map room. It takes 2 men to lift this thing out of the ground, which makes a huge scraping sound as they drag it to the side, revealing a dark, gaping chasm where the benign pot plant used to be. Reluctantly, I peer into the abyss. It goes really, really far down. The worst part, there's a ladder built into the side which climbs up out of the moist, echoey darkness. Now, some of you might be thinking, big whoop, Günsberg, sanitation is one of the reasons that we leapt forward as humanity. As soon as we figured out how to get our pee and poo away from where we slept and ate, things got pretty good for a lot of us. And I would agree with you. However, when I was at a very impressionable age, I read Stephen King's It. So sewers were, and are, terrifying. What makes this worse is that when the television series for It came out, the secret sexual arousal that I would feel when I would think about Tim Curry as Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I saw, my dad took me there, I think I was 8 when he took me to see that. So this kind of yummy feeling in my stomach that I would ever thought about Frankie, that then fused with the chilling horror of the same Tim Curry squeezing out of a wet hole in the ground saying, "Hello, Wheezy!" How am I supposed to live here now? We're just metres from where my family sleeps at night. There lies an open portal to the horrifying world of child-eating, yet still sexy, sewer clowns. Vince has a look down into the pipe and his face changes. Well, it's not us. Oh, pardon? The sewage. There's no leak in the main. It's not us. Then where is this shit coming from? The iPad comes out again. We begin to figure it out. Our house is one of 3 built by the same builder in 1906. He built one for himself on the corner and a duplex for his 2 kids. He might have been quite handy, but he was clearly a fucking cheapskate because instead of paying for 3 sewage connections, he paid for just 1. He ran the poo pipe from the uphill house next door into our lot, connected our house to that, and then downhill to where it connects to our neighbours, and only then into the main. We love our neighbours. We go to their house. We have dinner. We share laughter together. But now I know that after we say farewell, our food will spend the night in our separate tummies before reuniting with its friends from the oven tray and then all heading down the hill to the pump station behind the surf club before making their way to North Bondi and then out into the ocean. Somewhere along that communal poo pipe there's a blockage, and the poo and pee in our backyard is the poo and pee from our lovely next door neighbours. We asked them, "Can you guys not flush your toilet, please?" Sydney Water say, "You should call a plumber," and they just fuck off. It's now 5 p.m. on a Friday. And for the first time in my entire life, I am grateful for the unsolicited donation of a local plumber's fridge magnet in my letterbox. Fatty was at our house by 6 p.m. And after popping open the inspection hatch, he gets on the ground and without hesitation is shoulder deep in the sewer pipe like he's a country vet assisting the birth of a calf. Speaking to me calmly as he's hosing off his arm, yeah, I'll need a deeper inspection. And he says, you're safe to flush, but they aren't. I'll see you at 7 a.m. And just over 12 hours later, he's back. This time with a camera on a really long cable. With no prep at all, he promptly gives our house a rather sudden and vigorous endoscopy, which finally reveals the source of the problem. It is indeed a cracked ceramic pipe. At 120 years old and built on sand, it's going to happen. What do we do now? Do we have to demolish the back of the house we just bought and fix this shit? No need. I could fix it right now. I've got an air blower, a 20-metre sleeve of fiberglass, some resin. I can reline your pipe from the inside without hiring a digger. Be done in less than a day. Amazing. I can do it right now. Even better. Really? Yeah. Way too late. I start thinking about how much this is going to cost. But at this point, I feel like I'm thirsty and need to buy a bottle of water, yet I'm at an airport. $9? No, just the one. Oh. Okay. Is there any... There is nowhere... No, there's nowhere else. Okay. $9 it is. Boop. I know I'm not the greatest husband ever. I forget things. I'm really intense. Without warning, I will start excitedly talking about drum machines for 10 minutes, insisting on playing you songs, which will highlight the difference between a Lindrum and the Roland 808, as used in the chart hits of the 1980s, in the middle of a conversation about whether or not we should put Wolfie back into soccer. I'm sorry, honey, I know it is very hard being married to me. But on Valentine's Day 2020, I paid $10,000 to buy my wife Audrey the most expensive Valentine's present I've ever bought anyone. A fully relined sewer pipe and the peace of mind that the only shit and piss in our backyard will be that of our stupid dogs.